All right. Hello, everyone. How you doing? Hope you're doing great. It's me, Generic Pie, back with a game for you today. This one isn't a Peeping Tom Bombadil episode. This is a game of me actually playing against one of you fine people from the Discord server. And that fine person was Podajuna. Podajuna, I think, has been on the server not for too long, maybe a few months. And they've been rising the ranks very fast. I think they were like around 50th when we played this game. Yeah, they've been playing a lot of games and improving. I mean, I had never played them early on, but they're good. They're a good player. I can see them getting higher in the ranks at this rate. Um, so in this one, we had one Dwarven Ring and one token. Polyguna was playing as a free people. I was playing as a shadow. And yeah, let's jump straight into it. The cards pretty unexciting on both sides. We've got a Daylight versus a Great Host essentially. Maybe you see a Stormcrow, but Wormtongue is pound for pound one of the worst cards in the game. And early Ents isn't usually very useful. So nice roll for the Shadow. Okay roll for the free people. Not as much movement, and the Palant is a bit useless when you've got these cards. But at least you've got some variety there. Very stock army movements from me. Fellowship moves, they are safe. Doop doop doop. Army shuffle around. They decided to move down Rohan, which I was quite pleased to see, given they could have got the elves all the way to war. If they'd got the elves all the way to war, it would have given potentially me an early Witch King. But it would have scared me off going for the elves, or at least trying to take down two elven strongholds, because they would have had so much time to muster. I get Isengard down. They do the usual moves. I get in the wizard, and they draw in Guai here. So yeah, again, not really a particularly useful early cut tile draw there. Interesting, they went for the character draw. Normally, I go for early strategy as free people, but maybe they had a particular card in mind they were looking for. I'm not sure. And I move these guys up to out of Morannon. Go on to turn 2. They draw Danes. So yeah, challenge. They're not getting particularly useful character cards here, but Dane's good. And I get Dreadful Spells and Half Orcs, which are both good cards. No eyes added, so a nice roll for me again. Lots and lots of attacks. Got musters to do what I need to do. And they get a couple of wills. They use the Dwarven Ring. I think that's a smart play. And they get another will, which is great. So fantastic roll for getting a very early Gandalf. So yeah, looking good for Polyguna there. They decide to move straight away, which I think is smart. I miss. I get Sauron to war. They move again. This time I hit, and it's a 3, of course. I think, honestly, I feel like everyone always says this kind of stuff, but I think like the last 5 Shadow games I've played, it's been a 3. Gandalf 3, first tile. But yeah, so all fine and dandy for the free people there. Very early Gandalf. But having said that, the Shadow military is also moving at a pretty heady pace. Everything's getting into position. Lots of passing going on. I go for Old Road, Northwest Road, to kill this impudent northern swine who has no right being there. Is he going to scout away? No, he's not. He gets trampled by the good orcs. They pass again, and I go for Lorien first. Get the elves down 1. Here, I was a bit concerned about them maybe trying to get the elves to war so they could muster in Woodland Realm first die next turn. I could have then used Stormcrow to kind of counter that because the Fellowship is still in Rivendell, so that would have been quite a nice counter. But instead, they decide to play Danes, get that on the board. Danes is always good, and especially because I'm attacking Jew. Makes sense. I then play Half Orcs into Lorien, so now I've got a good sizable army that should hopefully be able to take down Lorien, you would hope. And we go on to turn number 3. So yeah, pretty standard stuff so far. They draw Fear 5 foes, and I will go alone. So maybe that could be a combo to get a little Hobbit guy over here, but given the way the game's going, if they do that, I'm just going to attack Dell and probably just take Carrick. So is it really worth it for two moves? Probably not. I then draw Shadows Moving and Lure of the Ring. So at this point, with the Fellowship moving so quickly, and Gandalf on the board already. I'm looking for something to attack the Fellowship for when they do get revealed. It would be nice to have like an Isildur's Bane or an Orc Patrol or something like that. I mean, in a dream world, like a Cruel Weather or a Nazgul Search to properly slow them down. But Lord of the Ring is okay. Main usage is to hopefully try and snipe Strider. So better than nothing, but not quite the one I was hoping for. I get another pretty solid roll. Nice and varied again. Not rolling many eyes at least, which is handy. Depending on which way you look at it, because I don't definitely not hitting the Fellowship for sure. That's for sure. Once again, they move. They're missed. I attack Woodland Realm. Elves are still one away, which means that I cannot get the Witch King yet. So I'm going to have to attack in order to get the Witch King. Go for Lorien. What do I play here? Let's find out. Go for Great Host. Yeah, Great Host. I think that's good against Shield Wall. Get one hit, which is in a way is good because it doesn't activate the Shield Wall. They get 2 hits back, so 2 each because of Great Host. So yeah, that's obviously better for the Shadow than it is for the free people. I decide to stop here. Maybe that's a little bit too conservative. I could have, played Devri of Orthanc there. Be curious to see what do people think. Is there a Orthanc when you can play it? Is that better than a Dreadful Spells? I mean, I suppose both times you're rolling 5 dice on 5s, but you can't counter Dreadful Spells with a free people's card. So I'm not sure which one is stronger. But anyway, so I decide to bide my time, get the Witch King in, so then I can start cycling cards and make sure that I can stomp down these guys. So yeah, that's my goal, to just ensure that I can take down Lorien. They move again and they are missed again. So on step 5, and all they've got is a perfect Gandalf kill. So that's not nice. Bring in the Witch King. Everyone is quivering in their boots and goes to war. I attack Lorien, and this time I presume that I played Swarm of Bats, which cancels Daylight, which is nice. Cool, that's good. Didn't really make a difference. Still would have only got 1 hit. They get 1 hit back. I decide to keep pressing. Oopsie. Draw into Hill Trolls, which is handy. No card, no card. Get 1 hit. They get 2 hits back. Only got 4 guys left now, so maybe, yeah, getting pretty frisky. But then I do roll the 6 that I need, and Lorien is done. That is good. Shadow points are on the board. They move Fellowship again, a 6th time. This time they are hit, and it's a 2. So no reveal, which is what I'm obviously hoping for. But at least it's a hit. It's a little bit of corruption on the board. I move all my Nazgul around. Do consider putting a guy in Umbar, because I'm thinking sometimes you get all of your leadership stuck in one place, and then you roll a bunch of sea dice, and you can't, you kind of. Actually, I suppose I could have used a sea dice to attack Dale. But maybe you want to have that flexibility to move a different army. But ultimately, because I've got the Dreadful Spells and they are terrible, 2 cards that really benefit from having like an overstacked Nazgul leadership, I decide not to do that. The Rohan go down again, so slightly scary. Rohan right now, not good. Now I play my Dreadful Spells. Of course, it whiffs, as it so often does. Thank you, Dreadful Spells, doing your thing, as always. Apologies, says sad. That was so good, though. Would have been so nice. Would have been so good. But, we tried. They consider moving the Rohan down, but then they change their mind and actually decide to... Okay, so here we go. I draw 2 cards as they are undoing. As they're undoing. So, I only noticed this. I actually started recording this before, and then I stopped and re-recorded because I was so confused about what the hell happened here. But Polishuna wanted to redo something as I was drawing my cards. So I redrew the strategy card, but I never actually redrew a C card. I would have had, as it so happens, it would have been a Balrog, which I'm not sure I would have bothered putting on the board. Maybe I would have. But the main downside is that like Balrog's not that useful in this situation, really, given how well things are going for the free people. But it means I'm one card down in the cycle, so that's kind of the danger. Obviously, Polishino didn't do it on purpose. I should have noticed that I didn't draw a character card. But that's, I mean, I'm guilty of it. You do the quick undo, 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 but then you don't always, you miss something in the kind of the details there. So so that's not ideal. Did lose a card there, but so be it. And they draw into Through a Day and a Night and Axe and Boat. So Axe and Boat could be handy Through a Day and a Night. Maybe, I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be a game where there's going to be lots of companions dancing around the map, but who knows? Who knows? They decide to reveal here, which is an interesting decision. I don't think I would have revealed, but maybe they have a plan. So they rolled that, and I roll a very Palantir heavy roll, so not happy with that. And they decide to pass. I use this opportunity because I've had such a bad roll here, so many Palantirs. The free people, the Fellowship's moving so goddamn quickly. I feel like I've just got to, and I don't really need the leadership here to fight this fight. I feel like I've got the cards, and I've, you know, if I can buff it up with the hill trolls if I need to. I've got, you know, I've got cards to kill this basically, and I've certainly got Palantir to draw more cards if I don't want to use these cards. So I figure let's give up a bit of leadership, and just have a go at maybe just I've got to get a reveal basically. I need every little bit of help I can get. I could have started cycling for like character cards, I guess. But I'm still thinking military is my best hope. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. I feel like that's still my best chance of winning the game. So I start playing my cards. I do use my hill trolls to buff up that army. They play axe and bow, get that on the board. I draw a card, draw into Orcs multiplying again. So I've got 2 onslaughts. They play I Will Go Alone to get Strider into Minas Tirith. This is interesting. Like, it's quite a ballsy play. On the one, like, when you've got that much movement and things are going so smoothly, I think you could easily just make an argument for just making a mad dash. But having said that, it's not like sometimes you can go too fast, as I found out in my previous game against Portagina. You go too fast as the free people, and you at the expense of you know, making a decent fist of it defensively and militarily, and as a result, it means that it can sometimes just come if you have a bad time in Mordor on the Mordor track, then you can just kind of get wiped if the shadow rolls nicely and has good cards. I think given I'd rolled a ton of Palantirs, and I'm already behind, I think I would have been tempted just to make a dash for it, and then, you know, I mean, you can still move potentially twice here. Maybe probably get into Mordor next turn anyway. So if you can get into Mordor next turn anyway, maybe Strider isn't a big loss, to be honest. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's a good time to get to Crown Aragorn, or is it better to just make the dash for Mordor and try and just sprint over the line? I say tasty. I could play cards here, but I'm not super keen on playing any of them. So I decide to ultimately play just draw another card. You know, particularly I want to attack this, but I don't want to really use an onslaught. So a desperate battle will be more useful in this fight while also allowing me to keep cycling. Aragorn is crowned. I attack Woodland Realm. I play a card. I presume I play Desperate Battle. Play Desperate Battle against Confusion. Roll 2 1s, which is not nice. Roll too many there. Okay. Okay, so this is important. This is important. I think I somehow missed one of the ones. I think basically I didn't notice one of the ones somehow. I thought I'd got 3 hits. He says you got 2 hits. In my mind, I got 3 hits. In my mind, Woodland Realm's dead, and I moved this up to 4. So that is Polyguna plays quite fast, and I think I was trying to sometimes I adapt to the speed of the person I'm playing with. Probably playing a little bit quicker than I normally would, and I didn't question that. So in my head, I'm like cruising. I'm on 4 VPs, baby. 4 VPs, cruising to a smooth, well, not a very smooth victory, cruising to a loss. Now I can not worry about Woodland Realm and start my foray into other. So I don't press. Why would I not press if I think this has one guy left? He must be thinking like, why is this guy not pressing? So I don't press, and I move the victory points up. So Polyguna obviously didn't notice that. So yeah, this will come back into play later. this will have an interesting effect on the game. So they move again. I roll 1,000 twos. We go exclamation mark 2. Thank God. Thank God. That Nazgul was so useful. Thank you, Nazgul. You did such a great job. Then they pass. I move the Southrons down. I don't really like using hybrid dice to move armies down, but I need to. I really need to start. I'm going to need my best bet. I mean, looking at the game, the board right now, how the hell am I going to get to 10 victory points, right? My best bet is probably this army big. Can reinforce with this. Make big army, attack, airable, smash, smash, kill, 5 points, 7 points. Then where'd you get your 3? Don't like the look of Rohan. Rohan's kind of scary. So probably you'd hope for Peligir and Dol Amroth, to be honest. Let's see how things go. But yeah, there's not really an obvious route to victory at this point. Although I do have Shadows of the Misty Mountains, which is useful. They move Gondor down, which is also a little bit scary, because this is quite open. I'm not really worried about a military victory or anything, but when you have a relatively weak Mordor and you have Aragorn on the doorstep and they're rolling on 6 dice, it's not pleasant. So yeah, play Shadows of the Misty Mountains. Because I had it, it's such a strong card. I already had another Onslaught. So I decided to use this here, and just to, I'm not really sure. I was thinking maybe I can make it go for Rivendell. That was the plan. Just kind of keep him on his toes. Could maybe move here and then make him think I'm going to Rivendell. Having said that, then I draw into Corsairs, and that changes my thinking quite a bit, naturally. And also the fantastic Clocks of Crevain, and they draw into the Eagles Are Coming. Oh my god, that's amazing! I drew Corsairs the exact same turn that they drew Kieran ships. That's beautiful. That is the Java gods just, said it the other day, the Java gods giveth, the Java gods taketh away. So they pass. I then get the Southrons down. Polyguna suspiciously gets a single leader into Dol Amroth and a 1 in Peligir. So when you see that, that's the calling card of Círdan ships. That's Círdan saying like, don't need any elites in here, guys, because I got the elves showing up. But funnily enough, there is a small advantage to this in the sense that, actually, I was going to say there's a small advantage to this because it means Rivendell can't get fully mustered. But having said that, there's still 4 elites in here, so Rivendell can get fully mustered, and this could get fully mustered, or at least up to 4 elites, which is scary. And I say, we know what that means. And Polyguna says, maybe it's a bluff. Maybe I just simply prefer 301. I did once stupidly do that in a game when I thought I had more time to defend Dol Amroth, and then I ended up just not. I didn't have Círdan ships, and I just had a stupid leader in here. So that was stupid. Anyway, so I know that he's got Círdan ships at this point, but I played Deadly Strife anyway because why the hell not? It's such a good card and still potentially a good route to victory points, obviously. This army does still often beat this army with Círdan ships. But yes, not a smooth path to victory. Start moving armies around. So yeah, so I'm now vacating vacating an alive stronghold that I think is a dead stronghold. Very dumb. I do decide to leave 2 behind, which will also play a role later, as you'll see. They move the Fellowship, so they do get quite a lot of movement this turn. And let's have a quick look at the stats. So my rolling is bad. They are +2 on movement, which isn't crazy. But yeah, so nothing too many. I'm a bit up on about even on attacks. Hybrids are the most useful ones, obviously. But yeah, nothing too crazy at this point. Just a slightly unlucky on the attacks. I do hit, so Mr. Nazgul does finally do his job and actually, thank the Lord, gets a hit on the reroll. So that was justified, and I do get a reveal. Thank Jeebus. Good man. Good Naz. They flip. 0 reveal. Now I play Lord of the Ring. I guess I've got this Palantir. At this point, you know, there's actually an argument for not playing Lord of the Ring. Maybe you just don't play it because it gets them closer to Gollum. You know, it might actually speed them up. And if Strider's in there, you play it to go for a wild, you know, shotter. I mean, it's 2 corruption effectively, so that's not a bad thing. But when you're in a race, yeah, I don't know. I think it's okay. I don't know what else I would have really done with that. Maybe I could have used that to play Orcs Multiplying again. Since I am planning on this Rivendell Assault, maybe that's the play. Yeah, I think in retrospect, maybe I don't actually play Lord of the Ring. Not sure. Anyway, it's Gimli, so at least it's 2. Yeah, I said it was guaranteed 2 because in my head I knew that I'd hit Gimli, that's why. Right, so they flip. Are they going to be able to get into Mordor this turn? Be a great time to have something like a obviously Cruel Weather or a Nazgul Search for when they move again. I don't have those cards, unfortunately. So yeah, maybe even you fish for a card with the character with the Palantir. You fish for a character card. But I instead start mustering. I'm thinking this is my best bet, taking down Erebor. They move the Fellowship, and I hit, and it's not a reveal. Oh, Jesus. So that was, yeah, so over a 50-50 chance of a reveal at that point. So that's a bit unlucky. But it is what it is. They take 1, soak 1 up with Axe and Bow, and that means they are going to get into Mordor this turn. So yeah, that sucks. What do I do here? I start combining in East Rune, and I start moving. So yeah, that was dumb, actually. Yeah, okay. So looking back, I don't know why I'm bothered. This is 2 move. This is bad play, actually. Yeah, this is bad play. I think again we're playing quite fast. I think I must have forgotten that I had Orcs multiplying again. Rather than doing 2 movement, you can just use 1 die, 1 hybrid die to just get 3 guys in here. That would have been much better. Yeah, a little bit of rushed play there, I think. They use a ring, of course, to try and get into Mordor. I hit, I do get an eye, so that's 1 corruption, and then I draw into a 2, so that's another 2 corruption. So Legolas is gone. We're down to the nice little Hobbit train. So yeah, if I hadn't killed Gimli, that would have been slightly slower in Mordor potentially. But yeah, at least I've taken that 2 corruption. I'll move this army up here and combine these armies in here. So pretty slow, but you'd hope between these guys I can take down Erebor, then I can get Dale. And then it's a matter of, yeah, taking down... Hope that's the thing. I don't feel confident about this. I need my leadership up here. I could then fly down to here and then try and take out Dolamroth. Probably my best bet, but I'm hedging my bets by... And I don't have any character at the moment, character dice at the moment, so not easy to move the Nazgul around. But I'm hedging my bets by also prepping an assault on Rivendell to kind of split things. Alright, so I draw into a red tile, and the king is revealed. And they get Grimbeorn and Weeprove the Swifter. So they're now into Mordor. 3 eyes now. And they only get 1 movement, so that's pretty lucky for me. That's good. Happy to see that. So that puts them, yeah, now they're even on movement. Okay. But yeah, so quite a lot of attacks here, quite a lot I can do. But they do have 3 musters. So they flip naturally. I put a red tile in case they want to use a ring to move again. Gives me a shot of hitting them with a red. Then they reinforce in Peligir and in Lamadon. Because, yeah, another route to victory points is going to be Dale and Peligir. So this is the thing, right? So let's say I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8. If I can take one of these 2, then I need 2 cities. That would be Dale and Peligir. I feel like it's unlikely I'm going to take both Dol Amroth and Rivendell. So I'm going to need cities somewhere as well. And I think that's what they're thinking. Slow me down, make it hard to take Peligir. I attack Erebor from the Witch King. Move the dwarves down. They start doing more reinforcements here. So Peligir's now getting quite nasty. So they see what's coming. I could have got the mouth here, but instead I realized that now that he's used that muster, now I can actually make a reasonable sized army to genuinely take Rivendell. Maybe there's a better play. I mean, I could have, I suppose, mustered an army in Umbar to then take Peligir and then back up this, potentially. Maybe that would have been a better usage than rather than doing this whole thing. Rivendell is quite a weak spot, though, relatively speaking. And I did have Shadows on the Misty Mountains. Should have played Orcs Mods playing again as well. Anyway, they throw an Ents at me, get 2 hits, and then draw into Shadows the Challenge of the King, which draws a 1, an eye, and another eye! Jesus! So that, never seen... I don't think I've ever seen Challenge of the King. I've seen Challenge of the King get 3 eyes. But I don't think I've ever seen it get 2 eyes, like, weirdly. So that is good. Good and bad. Good and bad. They've made the pool much nicer, but they've also made it more likely that they hit the red. The red went from like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1 in 11 now to 1 in 9. So yeah, so positives and negatives there. But yeah, not having eyes, that's good. Yeah, and he says useful card. Yeah. So then I've got enough to get Rivendell under siege this turn, which is good. And I think this army, even with the 3, we've got a chance of taking it down. Yeah, because I think my concern was if I take down if I take this, it's very very unlikely that there's going to be enough of an army left to also take Peligir. I'm going to need to take a city to win the game. So maybe there's an argument for going for the Shire and then pushing on to Grey Havens, but I'm thinking I ain't got time for that. So let's go for Rivendell. They use a ring to hide. Oh, sorry, a ring to move. Wait a second, what happened there? Anyway, so draw 1. They decide to go for random. It's a Hobbit, so that's fine. I get my guys up here, combine in Erebor. And with my final attack, I get Rivendell under siege. So 6 against 10. Not great. But I do have a Devilry of Orthanc, and I've got an Onslaught to maybe finish it off if I need to. Also got, I probably don't want to use a Relentless Assault against an army that's quite a small army. But maybe if I need to finish something off. So there's a chance. I got a shot. Okay. I get Flux Bane. Sorry, they get Red Arrow and another Ents card, and I draw into Breaking the Fellowship and Many Kings / Great Host. The Great Host is also useful for this situation. So yeah, lots of great hosting today. and lots of attacks as well. So that's great. But then also a million movement. So oh god, it's all happening here. This could be the turn to make or break the game. I say, fuck, forgot about the mouth. But having said that, given the way that I went with that turn, I wouldn't have been able to muster a sizable enough army and get to Rivendell if I hadn't used the muster. So if I'd used the muster, sorry. So yeah, I think I'm trying to justify that to myself. But however, if I had been a bit smarter and used the automaton again, I would have had an extra die anyway. So yeah, so kind of knock-on effects from previous mistakes there. Now Gandy goes to Old Ford, the classic Gandy from Fangon to Old Ford move that you see every game. I actually think this is such a great move. Fair play, Podajuna. This is such an awesome move because when Gandy does this, you know instantly, like, oh, shit. Gandy's either gonna use, well, let's see what's he got. So there's Weeproof or Orgway here. Got both options. Can either go to Rivendell or Erebor. I think. How much leadership? I've only got one Nazgul leadership here, but I feel like if Gandy does get in here, I ain't got a hope. I ain't got a hope because it's already a long shot to take this one. So my thinking is I'm going to have to take this one. I'm going to have to just gamble that I can take this down because also if Gandy goes in here, it also really sucks. It really sucks because everyone knows how hard it is to take down a Gandy stronghold, especially a fully stacked Gandy stronghold. It's like pulling teeth. But on the positive side, I feel like it's a little bit easier to reinforce it. I've got some reinforcements right here. I can start pumping out some Oliphants. I suppose it's the same distance from Moria. But my thought is, yeah, I'm going to really, really struggle to take down Rivendell. Plus, there's also the chance that if I don't take out Rivendell, then he'll draw the Elf mustering card for Rivendell, which just hasn't come out yet. And then I get that in there, and then I'm really screwed. So, yeah, let's have a go at Rivendell. Let's have a punt. Got to take risks here. Yeah, the bastard can go either way. Where we go. And I realise I probably need to win this turn because I think it's quite unlikely that Podajunas, if they don't get over the line this turn, that's that's potentially, I think they've used a ring already this turn, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4 movements. So 1 hide, 1 move. They can almost get there, and then next turn they only need a couple of moves to actually finish the job. So I'm thinking, crap, I need to win the game this turn. So that's 1 attack. So that would take me up to 6. This would take me up to 8. Then I would need 2 victory points to win. So either Dol Amroth or Pelegir and Dale. Either Dol Amroth or Pelegir and Dale. All right, so I decided to have a little gamble then and try and go for Rivendell with this army. No cards. I played Devery of Orthanc. Get 1 hit, but then I roll 2 6s on the reroll, which is huge, absolutely huge. And they roll 2 6s back, which also hurts, but I'm definitely the happier one of the two of us here. The game needs to be reloaded. And so yeah, so now this army, I've halved that army in one go. So that went about as well as I could have reasonably hoped it to go. I press because I don't think they probably send Gandy at this point. But I ain't got time. In my mind, I need to win. Play a strategy card. Got the Great Host. Is that going to be enough? They get 2 hits. I get 2 hits. Thanks to the Great Host. That's fine. I press again. I need to finish this job. I decide to do no cards. What could I have played here? I don't think. I mean, I suppose it's not. I'm kind of keeping the Onslaught and the Rents Assault for Gandy because I know Gandy's going to go here now. Dread and Spare is useless in this situation, and they are Terrible is useless in this situation. So I decide to try and just do it myself without using a card. Don't get the 6. They get 1 back, so that's not pretty. Then they play Guahir. Gandhi goes into Erebor. I draw a card, and I do draw into Deadly Strife, which is rather handy. Thank you, game. First Deadly Strife of the game. They hide the Fellowship. I go for Rivendell. This time, I think I've got to go for the Onslaught. I can't. I need this to die. Use the Onslaught. They don't play a card. I get the 6 anyway. Don't need to use Onslaught, thankfully. Well, same difference really. But anyway, so in my mind, I'm up to 6. I'm not up to 6. All the processing I'm doing here about winning the game is relying on me thinking that this is already dead. This is not already dead. This guy is very much alive, and I'm actually still only on 4 victory points. They move, and then they draw the red tile. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, 1 in 9. So very unlucky there. Very unlucky, but I guess yeah, removing those eyes did actually increase the chance of that happening. So yeah, that really hurts. Draw a random. It's Mary. I'm now just down to Bozza in the Fellowship. I then use a ring because I need to move my leadership now. So this is an interesting one. So I think I screwed this up actually. Yeah, looking back, I should have just with the Deadly Strife. I should have just gone for this. I should have just gone for this. That takes me up to oh wait. Oh, that's my thinking, right? If I take this, yeah, if I take this and I get up to 8, I'm not going to be able to take this as well. Then I need to get up to 10. How am I going to do that? If this takes this, the remaining army I don't think is going to be big enough to take Peligir as well, right? So it's a real balancing act. So instead, what I decide to do is gamble on this winning and then use this army to take Peligir because I know this army can beat Peligir. And then hopefully with the remaining die, I can then use this army because it's much more likely that the remainder of this army will be able to take Dale. So, I mean, I guess I think if I just thrown everything at this, I would have had enough of an army to then take Peligir. But you just don't know. And I felt I needed to win this turn. I really didn't think this army was going to be big enough to do this and this. I really don't think that's possible. I thought I had a slightly better chance in Erebor. And I've got some good cards to attack Erebor. I've got a Deadly Strife. I've got a Relentless Assault. These are good anti-Gandhi cards. You know, you've always got to have some good anti-Gandhi cards up your sleeves, people. So yeah, really tricky one. So, and I also this is either like the dumbest or smartest move ever. I leave 1 Nazgul here because I know that next turn, if by hook or by crook I'm still alive, next, and if they don't get over the line next turn, I can then, if I get a bunch of character dice, I can reinforce. I can send Oliphants using character dice to reinforce the Erebor because I'm not convinced that Erebor's gonna get over the line either because. The only reason I leave the Witch King in there is so I can cycle, because I think this is going to be the way to go. He says you put 1 in Northrune. I'm like, yep, that's intentional. I'm insane. I said just trying to be too clever for my own good. They try and play Eagles Are Coming, but there's no leadership in here, so it doesn't work. Sorry, no companion in there. Leaderships, that doesn't work. Instead, which is actually probably a better play, they then get Aragon in here. And, okay. They don't have any particularly strong cards to play with Aragorn, but Aragorn... Oh, they do. They got the Heroic Death, so that's a perfect combo. Aragorn plus Heroic Death. So that... Okay. Now knowing that they had a Heroic Death, that does make me feel a bit better because, yeah, that makes this so much harder to take with a Heroic Death in there. And it definitely wouldn't have had a big enough army to take Peligir as well. Okay. Don't mind the companion there. So now I go for... Now I'm like, screw you guys. I'm going to have to rely on Peligir and Dale and Erebor. that's my route to victory. It's the only way that I think this army can actually, yeah, get a point, get the points it requires. They scout away. This army comes out. They pass. Attack Peligir. No cards. I use Dread and Despair, so I can hopefully dodge hits when they're rolling on 5s. I get no hits. They get 1. I press. They retreat into Osgiliath. Not sure. I think because when you attack into this, you're going to be attacking on 6s. So I think I would have had a go at this army on 5s. You know, what's this army going to do? You might as well try and melt this army a bit. You know, you're going to probably lose this army, but at least you can have a, weaken it for, maybe this army can come in and swoop in. So yeah, I think I would have fought a bit longer there, even if you do get rinsed. So my mind, I'm at 7. Polyjuna says, dun dun dun, does he have a great host? I'm like, why are you talking about great hosts? Turns out it's because they're thinking, I need to take. They haven't noticed the counter. They think this is the real counter. If they were in reality, the counter should be here because they know that this has not been taken yet. And so I'm a bit confused by Great Host. Why Great Host was a good card, but why Great Host? Because a Great Host would make this fight much more winnable. They hide they flip the Fellowship. Oh no, they pass even. Now I go for Erebor, the great fight of our time, the Witch King against the Gandalf. Who's gonna come out on top? Hell knows. So they flip Gandhi, of course. Go for the Relentless Assault to begin with. Throw 2 guys into the meat grinder. Get 2 hits, and then they roll this monstrous roll. Ah! And they roll four hits on a no card. That's brutal. So yeah, this army is melting already. I have to press. I do draw into the Great Host they were talking about, so that's good at least, and that could be useful in, well, you'll see. They do no cards. Now I play my Deadly Strife. I get 2 hits. They get 5 hits back. So I've got 4 hits. I mean, I guess on a Deadly Strife with only 5 dice, you're only averaging 2.5 hits a Shadow. Equally with the Relentless Assault, 2.5 hits. But they are definitely truly maximizing the hits back, which is not good. It's going about as bad as it could possibly go in the reverse. So this army is down to just 3 schmucks. So Gandhi, he ain't dying anytime soon. Let's have a look at the stats. I'm -4 on 6s. They're +5 on 6s. Yeah. So that's really starting to feel that now. When it really, when it's crunch time. Yeah, and I have played a lot of cards where 5s would have been useful, and yeah, not getting much in the way of 5s either. Very good on 1s and 2s, though, Sometimes it's good to have lots of 1s and 2s for all those cards where 1s and 2s come in useful. They flip. And now at least this choice was justified. Kind of. I'm like, haha. And then I say, that's why. Superbly done. So, yeah, I mean, the big brain play kind of made sense, I guess. Although you could argue it would have been more used to having Nazgul down here. Because as it happens, they draw into Apelas. I get Nazgul Search way too late and Pits of Mordor. Slash Desperate Battle, which is handy. Yes, Kindred of Glorfindel. So at least I killed these guys before that came out. Yeah, so I don't even roll. Imagine if I'd rolled like 3, character dice here. That could have justified this at least, getting these guys up here. I don't know if I'd not rolled many other attacks. So the thought was there. It was kind of either idiocy or genius, depending on the luck of how the dice came out. Luckily for me, that they don't get much in the way of movement, so they cannot win this turn. They've only got two movement. This game is coming as I said, a real nail biter. So the Oliphant Factory is fully operational. They move. They draw an eye. Boromir dies, but it is a reveal, which is great for me. longest trek up this mountain. Yes, it's been pretty slow going in Mordor for the hobbits. I get another elite in here, and okay, yeah, I won't say it just yet. They muster an elite, sorry, a leader in Dol Amroth and a guy in Lamadun because they're going to combine and come and take back Peligir. Gollum, shut up! Stop making noises. Okay, yep. I'm trying to think how many Oliphants do I need to get because I'm calculating how many I need to do. 1, 2, 3, and then attack, and then attack. I realize that's one too many. Being dumb. So instead, I move here and move this guy from near Harad up the army in Peligir because I know this army is likely coming. So that extra guy could change things. Yeah, decide. I did consider moving this army here around, but I figure it's going to be too slow. So yeah, I need to get. And this army, you can only have 10 units anyway. So yeah, and as predicted, yeah, they consider moving the Minas Tirith guys. Decide they have a big think. Okay, and then this is when I notice I'm like, hey, the Wooden Realm guy's dead, right? And he says, nope. I was like, wait, did I not kill that? You did 2, not 3 hits. I got 3, didn't I? No, you re-rolled too many, as I said. Oh my god, I missed. So I completely missed that. But he says, wait, you counted the VP. So yeah, there was a complete misunderstanding here. I'd moved up the track, the points counter. They hadn't noticed that, and I hadn't noticed that these guys hadn't died. So we both missed something. And then they kindly do let me make a readjustment because I'm thinking I need to win this turn. And in order to win this turn, assuming that they get over the line next turn, I need one more attack to have a go out. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dice to make that possible. Because now I know I need to kill this as well. So they let me take back one of the musters in order to bring back my die from earlier. So yeah, so I basically get a die back in exchange for one of the Oliphant musters, so that I can have it just because why on earth would I have left this army with only 2 guys in it against 1 guy? That's just lunacy. So yeah, that's very kind of Polishina for letting me do that, but it was a genuine mistake. Because yeah, why would anyone do that? It makes 0 sense to march out of a 1 guy Wooden Realm. It's just weird. So I go for Wooden Realm. I have the Great Host that he mentioned, thankfully. I play it. They rolled a 6. Yeah. So I'm just kind of assuming that I'm going to just get an instant win, but I'm being dumb. So I do have to roll, obviously, but I do get the 6, which is absolutely humongous. Really, really big. So yeah, that's absolutely crucial. That means that this is now correct. But if I'd missed that, it could have been an absolute disaster. It could have been GG, basically. Anyway, so yeah, slight misunderstanding there. They move armies. Yeah, so back to where we were before. This army goes up here. I move armies as well, combine here, and get this guy here. They then draw a card. They draw into a no quarter. And I combine armies in Erebor and start marching this guy down in case I might be able to get a cheap Edoras, or at least make him, waste one of his dice next turn if there's any chance of me winning next turn if I haven't, if it doesn't work this turn. So the game is winnable this turn. If I can take down Gandalf and take down Dale and hold Peligir. Those 3 things need to go my way for me to win this turn. What do I have up in my hand? I have a Desperate Battle, which I can then use to draw into another strategy card. Gandhi has 4 HP. I have 9 HP. So, I mean, I need luck. I think 4 versus 9 normally would be okay, but against the Gandalf, not really okay. And he's been rolling hot in these fights. So, but he goes for Peligir. I say yep, because I knew that was coming. I do very handily have and foul stench. You don't say that very often. Oh, thank God I've got a foul stench on my sleeve. But this time it was really useful because Falstench cancels Anduril because we both have 4. Oh man, I would have really kicked myself if they had 5 and I'd had that one stupid Nazgul in North Rune. That would have made me want to, just shut down my computer and never play Wuthering again. But anyway, so it's 4v4. So that cancels. Not only do I cancel his leadership, but I also cancel the effects of Andrew, which have been 2 automatic hits. So that's humongous. Best Falstench I've ever used in my life. But they still roll good. Still get 3 hits, which is fine. I only get 2. Oh wait, they only get. Oh, sorry, because I'm in a city, so they get 2 each. Okay. They press. No card, no cards. But yeah, Polajuna is rolling very hot at this point without any cards. And I'm doing okay. I get 3 versus 5. So at least it's not a complete whitewash. But yeah, so I had significantly larger army than them, but it's not going very well. Don't want to use now. I decide to play the They Are Terrible because now, yeah, I was kind of thinking about the mass of this. When you've only got 4 Nazgul, how good is They Are Terrible? Because you're giving up the chance to roll two dice on 5s, 4 dice, well, however many hits you get on 5s versus 2 on 4s. I guess because you're probably going to get some hits with the combat, the odds, yeah. So I think mathematically it's better to play They Are Terrible because you're effectively getting 2 dice. It's basically having like two dice rolls, coin tosses. But yeah, if we go to the so I'm negative 6s at this point, and as you've seen, I've been rolling quite a lot of rolls on 5s, negative on 5s, plus 10. So yeah, so this is starting to hurt. This is starting to really hurt. If I'd had average dice, I think I'd probably get over the line militarily in one of these, perhaps previous turn or this turn. So They Are Terrible versus Advantageous Position. So nice use of Advantageous Position. They roll 3 hits again, so yeah, still really strong. But this time I get a good roll. So the Advantageous blocks 1, but I get the 3 hits. I get the 3 hits. They Are Terrible does nothing, but I roll good. So thanks, guys. Kill Aragon. The king is dead. I ask if I can make a video because yeah, I think it's worthy. Now we're going for Erebor. Is it going to be enough to get me over the line? The problem is he can then almost certainly take this back with this die. And so I attack Erebor instinctively when I think in retrospect maybe the play is to move here. But having said that, if I move here, he musters an elite in there, and then first thing next turn, if he gets a gets a musters 2 elites in there, and then I've probably given them Pelagir, and I can't. I mean, 2 guys against 2 elites is not going to take down Dol Amroth, I don't think. So maybe it worked out okay. But anyway, so we're fighting here. Round 2 of the Battle of Our Time. Gandalf won the first round. Pretty straight knockout. But the Witch King has gathered his Oliphant army, regrouped, and is going for another stab at killing the wizard. Desperate Battle gets no quarter. Not good rolls. The ones coming hot. Love those ones. But okay, Polajuna doesn't have a good one at least, but the no quarter does a second. I press draw into Relentless Assault. I think I decide not to use the Relentless Assault because I guess I could have. Let me think. Downgrade 1, press. Okay, so I decided to play the Relentless Assault. Yeah, I think it's probably my best bet of actually getting over the line. Did I not downgrade then? Oh, I had already downgraded. Okay. So yeah, in that case, the Relentless Assault definitely makes sense. I could have just sacrificed maybe 4 rolls on 5s. Probably my best shot at actually killing this swine. But when he plays the Heroic Death, the nicely played Heroic Death, good play, makes it pretty much unkillable. So I decide to just not do any Relentless because all that happens is he just kills Gandhi and then they soak up the dice anyway. So I don't relentless. I get 1 hit. They get 1 hit back. And I press again. And then I get no hits, and they get 1 hit back. So, yep. The Battle of Our Time. It's not going very well for the Shadow. The dice are currently, yeah, +9, -4. Not good. So, yeah, and I was saying, like, maybe better to gamble on killing Aragon and Dol Amroth. But even then, you know, if I'd sent the Witch King down here and got Dol Amroth, there's no way I'm taking Erebos. So I still have to get 2 cities, and I'm just not going to be able to take Pelargir. So yeah, I think I did the right thing. I think so. Not sure. They muster in Dol Amroth. Maybe you hide. Maybe that's a hide. I'm not sure. But ultimately, yep. Okay, so they've got to go soon. I decide to yeah, I think this was probably a mistake. I probably should have just started the march to Dol Amroth. How many elites have they got left? 3. I'm still thinking. I think my thoughts were then, I've only got 9 cards left. My best bet is probably a Shadows Gather. Shadows Gather in here and then get over the line there. And then just. But having said that, I'm not going to hold Pelargir. There's no chance of holding Pelargir. I don't want these guys to die, especially with the Nazgul there. So they're my best bet of taking Dol Amroth. So maybe I should use this die to actually move them to Lamadon. But it doesn't. If I do that, he's almost certainly going to muster first thing next turn anyway. So not sure if that's the play. Draw into Morgul Wound. And Olokai. Olokai, good. King Brands. Oh, actually, hey, didn't know we had King Brands. That could have been big. And there is another way. Okay, so they only get the 1 muster, and they get a lot of character dice. So you're kind of earmarking, trying to get over the line. But they have, yeah, there is another way. Did they just draw? There's another way. That is a clutch draw. That is an absolutely clutch draw. Wow, timing there is unbelievable. So they flip. Now I do this. And they could have mustered, but I think they're thinking they need to just try and win the game this turn. And if they, how many movement have they got? So it would be 4 effectively. 1, 2, 3. So if they don't get revealed at 1 point, and lots of cards won't reveal because of Gollum, they should be fine. So yeah, and it's a 3, which is kind of perfect. That's I mean, obviously it's a big number, but it does mean that the game is pretty much won. How can you stop this? And we have a little chat, and I realized that the only way for me to feasibly stop them is for me to draw a red tile, put it in the pool, and slow them down. A draw, I don't get a red tile. They move. I need a reveal to even have another shot at a card draw. It's an eye, so they're hidden. Okay, I draw a red tile. They hide. I put the red tile in. Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes-Benz, a red eye? I think that's what I'd like to buy you. And with the final die, they go for glory. It's a 1 in 6, which is a 16 points, I think 6-7% chance. They think, do I muster or do I move? Do I muster or do I move? Do you put a muster in Dol Amroth and survive that way? Or do you move when you've got a an 83% chance of winning the game? I think I would have just gone for it. I think that's, yeah, I think it's 83%, man. God, that's a difficult decision. Yeah, it's a really, really tricky decision. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And unbelievably, it's a red tile. So the one tiny glimmer of hope, mad tile draws, sorry, card draws, going for character cards. The last second, drew a red tile card. I mean, I guess there were three in the deck. Three in the deck. So that was a 1 in 5 chance because there were 15 cards left. I did draw 2 cards, so that multiplied by 2. Um, but then the 16% chance to draw the red tile, incredibly unlucky. Incredibly unlucky for Bolajuna. That really, yeah, that's rough. Naturally, yeah. So yep, the 3 people are left hanging on the brink of Mount Doom. Sauron saw them at the last second, and I don't know, Sam fell on top of Frodo or something, and who knows. And I'm like, can I actually win though? Luckily, I do have an Olog High up my sleeve. Oh man, the fact knowing now that they had King Brands as well, that must be painful. Knowing you had King Brands, when I'm gonna be going for Dale, that really sucks. So go here, play Olokai. Yeah, that's a big. They say GG, pretty sure. I attack Dale. I play Dread and Despair, just to. Why did I play Dread and Despair? I guess I was cycling cards, just so I had a card to use in this fight. So I'd improve my chance of killing this guy. They get a hit. I get the hit on the reroll. And I draw into Relentless Assault. So not the most useful. Go for D8. No card, no card. No card, no card, no card. 2/2/2. Not ideal. 3/5/5. Not ideal. No card. Press. So it's 6 dice. I need to get a 6. They need to survive. And then I roll the number of the beast. The Dark Lord was with me this one and won the game. So, pretty crazy one. I mean, a lot of decisions, a lot of stuff going on. I'm sure, yeah, I'd be really curious to see what people's thoughts are on this one because for like the first half of the game was pretty normal, and then the last half of the game was just very, very intense. Lots going on. Loved the Gandy play here. Thought that was great. I think my main mistakes were probably not playing Orcs multiplying again here. Um, maybe I should have just gone harder on Dol Amroth. I think my logic was sound around the Pelargir thing, but maybe I'm missing something there. Especially once once Gandalf gets here, maybe you just I don't know. I did a lot of mustering here that I could have done in Umbar, put it that way. But then there's big armies here. He can muster in Pelargir, like it's. But maybe all the kind of movement and mustering that I did to try and take Gandalf would have been better spent. I don't know, mustering these guys and using them to go for Pelargir, mustering an Umbar and going for Pelargir while this army tried to take down Dol Amroth. What partly put me off that though is the thing about attacking Dol Amroth with that army is um it's you can't reinforce it. You can't reinforce it. If that goes wrong, if that goes badly, you're done. You're just done. Maybe I should have had a go at it. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe I should have just had, sometimes you play your Deadly Stripe and you just get a clean sweep. There's no Gandalf ability. Maybe I would have had enough forces between that to muster an Umbar and take down Pelargir. Maybe that's the play. But the way I decided to do it was to try and take down this. And I was pretty unlucky here. They rolled very, very hot up in Erebor, and I did not roll very hot. So if that had been more of an average fight, I'd probably take this one down, I think. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I thought Polishina played really well. They probably played better than me there. But ground it out with some pretty bad dice, I'd say. And I had Corsairs, but Corsairs bumped into this. I felt my cards were all right, but I didn't feel I had like exceptional cards. And I lost a seed card. somewhere in the midst of all that. So maybe if that could have changed the game in some other way, maybe I would have drawn into like a card here to slow down the Fellowship if I hadn't lost that one midway through the game. But hell, really cool game, War of the Ring. Thanks for the game, Podashuna. Thanks for being a good sport. He was unstandardly very annoyed at losing in that fashion. Yeah, so it's always losing to a red tile on those odds is always like, yeah, I would be tilting as well. I'd be very annoyed. But yeah, thanks for the game, and I'm sure we'll play again at some point. And thanks for watching. Peace out. Bye bye.